We're back on the record.
Okay. Mr. Williams, oh, you're muted, so we're going to have to unmute yourself, sir.
Still muted though.
Yep. Still muted, sir. Please unmute yourself.
I think I unmuted it.
Okay, thank you. We're going to take some testimony from you, sir, so we'll have you raise your right hand. We'll have you sworn in, then we'll proceed.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. McNeil.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Williams, you spell your last name Williams.
Yes.
And where do you live?
I live in Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
And how do you know do you know the parties?
Yes, I know Dale Higley and Heather Borden.
And how long have you known Dale?
Between 10 and 15 years.
And how long have you known Heather?
Since their relationship when they got together.
And have you ever worked for Mr. Higley?
Yes, I have.
Is that how you first met him?
Yes, it is.
And have you had some criminal trouble in your your past?
I have.
Do you have a felony?
Yes.
Did that ever make it difficult for you to find a job?
Yeah.
And is that why you wound up working for Mr. Higley?
I worked for Mr. Higley because I wanted to be in trees.
Okay. And how long did you work for him?
Between 10 and 15 years.
And when did you move to Wisconsin?
8 of 17.
So August of 2017.
Yes.
And have you met Oakley?
Oh, yes, I have.
And so have you seen Mr. Higley and Ms. Borden even though you moved to Wisconsin?
Yes, I've come over and worked occasionally just because it's trees.
Okay. And have you worked for Mr. Higley and Ms. Borden at their restaurant in Paradise, Michigan?
Yes, I have.
And what have you done up there at their restaurant?
Well, when Dale first got out of the hospital, we put a fan on top of the roof. We built a washer room. Dale did some assorted wiring because I don't do wiring, and I helped in the restaurant. I cleaned dishes. I took orders.
For how long a period of time would you stay up at the restaurant and work? Like a day or a week or a month?
3 or 4 days out of the week, depending on the time of the season.
And then would you go back home to Wisconsin?
I would.
Okay. Have you observed Dale with Oakley?
Yes.
And what have you observed about their relationship?
It's probably one of the most perfect kind of relationships I see with his daughter because he is totally locked in on his daughter. He don't even want us friends bothering when he has Miss Oakley.
Okay. And have you observed Heather with taking care of Oakley?
Yes, I have.
And what have you observed about her relationship with Oakley?
The things I seen, it was kind of the same. Everybody's kind of, these two, his parents are locked in on Oakley. You know what I mean? She was very good with her daughter. I never seen her abuse her or nothing like that. She's more like let's deal with Oakley's mind and let's read, let's learn to write, starting to teach a little tiny person too.
Do you think that Ms. Borden does different activities with Oakley than Mr. Higley does with Oakley? From what you've observed?
They both do a lot of the same activities. I mean, Dale teaches her how to read, or, you know, or they go out like this winter and they went and did a little bit of skiing, and Miss Borden does go snow walk with Oakley, but you know, there's a lot of the same activities as them as a couple have done.
Are you familiar with Ms. Borden's mother?
Yes.
And how do you know her?
She married me and my wife.
Oh, she's an ordained minister or somebody who can perform marriages?
Yes.
Okay. So how long have you known her?
She married us on 8/18 of 18 up there in Paradise.
Okay. Have you observed her taking care of Oakley?
Yes, I have.
And what have you observed about her taking care of Oakley?
I've seen her falling asleep.
Okay,
I've-
Your Honor, I'm going to object. I'd ask for a time frame on this.
Okay. Can
When-
you give me an idea of what time frame you saw Ms. Borden's mom falling asleep?
It was after Dale's car accident when I moved back to Michigan to help take care of Dale.
Was that in 2022 or
Mm,
21?
on June 5th, his birthday, he got in a motorcycle accident. Yeah, 21, I would say. Maybe 22.
And so it was after that you observed Ms. Borden's mother taking care of Oakley?
Yes, and that was at Paradise in the restaurant.
And other than seeing her fall asleep, what else did you observe?
Me, Heather, and Dale were standing outside, and Miss Oakley ran out of the house. We were at the restaurant, standing outside out back. Miss Oakley come running out, and it took 2 or 3 minutes for Heather's mom to come out and even see where Oakley was.
Okay. Is that the only concern that you have with regard to Ms. Borden's mother watching Oakley?
I'd walk over to the house and she would be sleeping, and Miss Oakley would be just doing whatever.
Is that different than the way that Ms. Borden and Mr. Higley take care of Oakley?
Definitely.
Do you have any concerns about Oakley's care when she's with either of her parents?
No, I don't, except they have different standards, I would say.
And what do
You
you mean
know.
by that?
Dale wants, now he wants to have a good time. He wants to put her in dance. He wants her to go to school. He wants her to learn. And Heather was the exact same way when Miss Oakley came into this world. They kind of both have the same thing they want to do, but they just together they can't do it.
They can't agree, is that?
They're young parents. No, they're not agreeing. This is their first child, you know, and they're just trying to be the best parents they can for Miss Oakley on both sides.
From what you've observed about Ms. Borden's mother caring for Oakley, do you believe Oakley is safe in her care?
No,
When you have been at the restaurant, have you seen the adults drinking excessively in Oakley's presence?
I've seen wine.
Okay, and who drinks wine?
Heather and her mother.
Okay, and how much wine have you personally observed them drinking when they're taking care of Oakley?
At night after the restaurant was closed, a bottle.
between the two of them?
Yeah. And me,
I'm sorry.
no.
And have you seen Mr. Higley and Ms. Borden argue when they've been at the restaurant?
Yes, they are young parents and it's a stressful thing.
Have you seen either of them be inappropriate in terms of something beyond normal disagreements?
No, never.
Have you seen Mr. Higley, raise his voice or swear at Ms. Borden?
He has, but she has too.
Okay.
It's a fair square, I guess, is what I have to say on that matter.
Would it ever rise to the level that you thought maybe you needed police intervention?
No.
Okay. Did you have you seen Mr. Higley drink alcohol when he has Oakley on his own?
No. He
Okay.
don't even, most of the time, I don't even get to talk to Dale Higley when he has Oakley, because I live in Wisconsin. He won't even call me, but when I was in Michigan, never.
Did you see Mr. Higley after his motorcycle accident?
Yes, I came to Michigan.
And why did you come to Michigan?
And he got in his accident his birthday's June 5th. He went to Mary Free Bed, and that's when me and my wife traveled to Michigan.
And did you just come for a visit to see him?
Nope. I came over to help.
And was Ms. Borden helping him?
No. She was doing, how do you describe it? Like kind of housewife thing, but I was there to help Dale Higley.
So what kinds of things did you do for him?
His bandages, took his bandages on and off, cleaned his wounds, slowly started getting us back to work, probably 25 minutes, just getting work out and then trying to get back into trees. And
So when you say 20 minutes of working out, like what would you do to help him?
well, after changing bandages, let's get up and down them steps on his house and get in the garage and move around, and then trying to get him back to where healthy and go back to his job.
And was Ms. Borden supportive of your help to Mr. Higley?
Well, at that time, I guess it really didn't. No, I mean, yes, she was happy I was helping him. She was more than happy that I was helping him because she wasn't going to help him a bit.
And at that point, was she and Oakley staying at the house?
Yes. And then Heather went to Paradise.
And how long were you in Michigan helping Mr. Higley?
At least, well, the first time was 2 months, and then I had to come back home to Wisconsin to talk about my job here, and then I came back for another month.
And was Ms. Borden in Paradise for that entire time, the first 2 months?
I guess I would object on lack of foundation and relevance. How would he know if he's in Wisconsin?
Well, only if he knows.
Well, I asked him when he was in Michigan for those 2 months, if she was staying at the house. That was the question. So he would know because he was there.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, Mr. Williams, the first 2 months was, Ms. Borden in Michigan or was she elsewhere?
She
Not
was,
Michigan, was she at the house or was she elsewhere?
she went elsewhere.
Okay, and was Oakley with her?
Yes.
Okay, and then you came back for a month, where, was she at the house with Oakley then, or was she not at the house?
No, no.
Okay. And when you used to work for Mr. Higley, after Oakley was born, were you around working for him after Oakley was born?
I'd come back to Michigan every once in a while, just do a few weeks of work for him because I had time off and I was collecting my vacation and might as well go make more money.
Okay, and so when you would come back, were there, after you get done working, did you go to the shop that was underneath the house at Mr. Higley's home?
Yes.
And did you drink?
We had a few beers together. Yes.
And would it be you and Mr. Higley, or would there be other people there too?
Sometimes it depended on who was working or friends that would stop over.
And can you describe what these gatherings were like? Were,
A couple hours and having a couple beers. Me personally, I was getting off of work. So, and I wasn't staying at Dale Higley's house at that time. I had a motel then, but a couple hours of beer and
did anyone smoke cigarettes?
I smoked.
Did anybody
No.
smoke?
No, we never smoked around Oakley. Dale would make sure the big doors were open if we were going to have a cigarette. If it was a nasty day, we always had to go outside.
Okay. And what about marijuana?
We've smoked it. I've smoked it.
And would you smoke it when Oakley was present?
No, never. He wouldn't even allow that. If he knew Oakley was coming downstairs, he wouldn't even allow it in the shop.
And when would Mr. Higley have a beer or more with you?
We'd have a couple beers, a couple glasses, red glasses.
Okay. And did you ever see Mr. Higley intoxicated at these after work gatherings?
I'd say, yeah. I would have to say yes, because I'm not going to lie. I've seen him intoxicated, but I've seen them both intoxicated.
And when you say both, who's the other person you're referring to?
Heather.
And primarily, in what location have you seen her intoxicated?
At the shop, at Paradise, just where I was around.
Have you
But they
ever?
both.
Okay.
But they both, they're young adults, and
Have
they
you ever
both.
seen either one of them so intoxicated that they were unable to take care of their daughter?
No, neither one of them.
And how much have you been around Dale since he's recovered from his accident?
Well, I had the 2 months that I spent, and then the other month I've spent, but I talked to Dale pretty much every day.
But you haven't spent a lot of time with him in person since those periods of time when you were taking care of him?
No, ma'am.
And during those periods when you were taking care of him, was he drinking beer or any other alcohol?
No, he was on so much medication that he was not drinking.
Do you have any concerns at all about Oakley's safety and care when she's in the sole care of her father?
No, that little person, little Miss Oakley, is his sole world. That's all he cares about.
And the same with with mom? Do you have any concerns at all about Ms. Borden's care of Oakley?
The only concern I've ever had about little Miss Oakley with her mom is the 10 and 12 hours she spends trapped in the car and riding around or at her work, or that's my concern, or with Oakley's grandma.
And have you talked to Ms. Borden about her work?
No, I have not.
Have you talked to her about traveling with Oakley?
I have not personally. It's not my place. I just, when Miss Oakley is trapped in a car or in a hotel down in Indiana with her
Shaney,
grandma.
lack of foundation. And he just said he hasn't even talked to her about it. So lack of foundation,
Well, I think he went on and was talking about something else at that particular point when he was talking about the grandmother. So I'll take it for that.
And actually, I have no further questions.
Okay. Mr. Zoglio.
Mr. Williams, so you've said you've known both parties, correct?
Yes,
Okay, you go by Lucky for some reason, right?
that's what my mother called me from birth.
Okay. Now you said that you helped Dale after his motorcycle accident in June of 2022. Do you remember that?
Yes,
Okay. And then you helped for 2 months and you helped Dale, right?
yes,
All right. And during that time, I think you testified, you used the term that Heather was doing the housewife thing. Do you remember saying that?
yes, I do.
All right. And was that housewife thing including taking care of Oakley?
A lot of the time I have to say yes.
Okay.
But I was taking care of Dale.
Okay. And then you said that you came back for a month to do some more tree work, right?
Yep.
All right. So when was that month that you came back? After the 2-month period that you were here, when was the month that you came back? When was that?
Like September.
Okay, so you were here from June, if you were here from 2 months, from June 22, 2 months would be July 22 and August of 22. So then you
Yeah.
went back to Wisconsin, right?
Yes.
And then you came back again in September
Yeah.
and at the end of September, right? Or at the beginning?
Just, it's a lot of days.
Uh-huh.
I want to say yes, that's very close to the right dates.
Okay. And so when you came back in the month of September of 22, did you see Heather around during that particular time?
No.
Okay. And that's when you, and I think you just testified that you guys would drink beer. You said, I have to be honest.
Not-
we would drink.
We drank beer before his accident. When he got in his accident and I had to come there, Dale did not drink.
Okay. But is it fair to say, sir, that since that 1 month that you came back, you haven't been back here?
No, I have not.
Okay, so you wouldn't have any knowledge if he's had any drinking from September of 22 till today?
No, I would not, sir.
Okay. I also noticed that you had a lot of comments to make about their relationship and things. But it's true, you didn't live with them, so you wouldn't know about
When
the
I came to Michigan for the 2 months and the 1 month, I lived in the home the
Okay,
whole time.
but Heather wasn't there.
Heather was there a little bit when Dale came out of Mary Free Bed, and then she was gone to Paradise and she had her job, and I was helping Dale. So
Isn't it true, sir, that at Dale's request, Heather's mom was watching the child while he was part of the time while he was in the hospital? Isn't that true?
that's not a question I can answer because I did not have that discussion with Dale. I mean,
Okay.
mother,
that's-
mother was, as far as I know, helping and watching Miss Oakley.
Okay. You said that the parties have different standards when it comes to Oakley. Remember that?
Yeah.
All right. And then you said that Heather tries to do, like the schooling and the teaching and that kind of thing. Is that right?
Yes, she does.
All
And
right.
so does Dale, but I gotta say the same thing. They both argued back and forth about where they would like Miss Oakley to go to school. So they are on the same page on that. They just can't get on that page.
Okay. And so to the best of your knowledge, since you live in Wisconsin, where does Oakley go to school?
It's up there in Lansing.
Okay. And would that be a preschool?
Yes, it would be.
Okay. Did you know that it was Heather that found that preschool?
I know that. But that's one of the points that Dale would like Oakley closer to Marshall.
I'm gonna, I haven't asked you a question, sir. And I'm gonna ask that the statements be stricken because I haven't asked him a question, Your Honor.
Mr. Williams, just wait until there's a question, then answer the question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, sir, you said that you were in prison for a felony.
Yes.
What was that felony?
Assault.
Did that was that on a person?
Yes.
Was it on an adult or child?
Adult.
How long were you in prison for?
Over a year and a half for that.
Were you there for something else?
No, because when they released me from other places, I had a B&E. That's one of the other things I caught in 86. And then it progressed to where they put me in a house down in Battle Creek, and I escaped from there. So I had to go back, and eventually I caught an assault.
You escaped from the Battle Creek jail?
No, the little correctional facility they had for us to be released at.
Do you have anything on your record that would be related to, or was a child present during the assault?
No,
Okay. Have you ever been investigated or anything relating to sexual abuse of a child or physical abuse of a child?
yes,
Sexual abuse or physical abuse?
it was something that they investigated me for and was totally dismissed over here in Wisconsin.
Okay. Was it by federal authorities like the FBI?
No,
Have you ever watched Oakley on your own with no one else
Nope.
around?
nope.
I guess this is fair to say that you don't really know what the day-to-day relationship was when Oakley and Dale and Heather were living together.
Only for the few months that I stayed there totally at their place.
But you had said that Heather was gone during that time.
Well, when she was there, and it's fair to say, Miss Borden was at the house maybe a week and a half when I first got there. But then I was totally taking care of Dale. And, you know, it's a little difficult because I was trying to totally take care of Dale.
Okay, that's fair.
And at that
During-
time, oh,
during the times that, you mentioned that you said, to be honest, you've seen them both intoxicated and you've seen them drink at parties. Is that right? I think you talked about both parties. Is that right?
yes, they both have.
When you
They
drank,
both drink together. We all drink together.
okay, when you drank with at the parties, did you drink out of a keg?
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned about Dale smoking marijuana, and you said you guys had to do it outside. Is that right?
Long before his accident. And once he got in his accident and was not allowed in the shop at all.
All right. And you've never seen, my client doesn't smoke marijuana, does she?
As far as I've ever seen, you know, I can't honestly say I've ever seen Heather hit the pipe or hit a joint.
Okay. You said that you had thought that Heather went up to Paradise with the child, right?
No, she did. Because
Okay.
I was with Dale.
All right. And you're saying that was for 2 months straight?
Like I said, she was there for like a week and a half, and then she was gone. And she had Oakley.
Okay. Was she working some of that time?
If she went to Paradise, she went to work.
Okay. But is it safe to say you don't really know where she was? You just know she was
No,
gone?
I don't. Honest to God.
Okay.
I was. That's where I was told she went. I
All right.
can't say that I spoke to Heather at all during that time.
Okay, thank you. Because Dale's the one that told you about this.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Have one moment, Your Honor. Okay, sorry about that. Sir, do you remember an incident where Dale was trying to insist on Oakley riding a scooter? Do you remember that incident?
Miss Oakley used to ride her tricycle in the bottom of the garage, and
Do you remember an incident in April where Dale was insisting that she ride her scooter after he had been drinking?
you can't insist nothing on Miss Oakley. He might have asked her to try and ride it, but if she can't ride it, I seen her ride other toys. I've seen her on her skis.
Wasn't Dale intoxicated at that time?
I can't honestly answer you that because I don't know. I don't recall this incident on a scooter.
If I were to tell you this incident happened in April of 2021, would that refresh your memory?
No. I mean, it might have been when one of the times I came over, like I said, I've come over through the years and just come to work with Dale a week or two, but I'd stay at a hotel. It wasn't like I was staying at the house like I did after his accident. So I might have went to the hotel. My wife might have drove me. My wife came up a lot and she's my driver.
Would that have been a time when there was a Cards Against Humanity party?
Everybody, even Miss Borden, came in and did Cards Against Humanity. But that was before the accident.
Okay. So you don't have any specific recollection of the scooter incident where Dale was yelling at Oakley?
No,
Okay.
I have only ever heard about an incident, but that's here and there. I've never personally seen Dale, or in Heather's defense, I have never seen either parent yell at little Miss Oakley. They've been parents. They've told her no, she don't like it. But neither parent has ever, in my knowledge, been mean to this little child or abusive towards this little girl.
Okay. And that's to your knowledge because you live in Wisconsin, so you don't.
Well, all the times that I've been over and around both of them when I worked there in Michigan, and I did work for Dale, you know, I've never seen either parent ever mean to Miss Oakley.
Okay. And sir, do you have any children of your own?
I got one, an adopted daughter.
Okay. Did you raise the adopted daughter?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Ms. McNiff, any redirect?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Williams, thank you for your testimony. You're excused. You have a good day.
Thank you.
I believe that I have somebody on my other Schroeder DeGraw account.
Let me see.
This should be Michael Martinez.
Unmute, please.
I may have to go help him.
You think you'll be any help, Ms. McNiff?
I know how to unmute.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go back into the other room.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay. Mr. Martinez, we're going to take some testimony from you, so we'll have you raise your right hand and be sworn in first, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Okay, go ahead, Ms. McNiff.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez, you spell your last name Martinez.
yes,
Thank you. And do you know Mr. Higley?
yes,
You know Ms. Borden?
yes.
How do you know Mr. Higley?
I've known Mr. Higley for about 5 to 7 years.
And how did you meet him? How do you know him?
We met through football games. I saw him at a Michigan game, and I've seen him in Marshall because I've lived in Marshall all my life.
And how do you know Ms. Borden?
Because of Dale. We're Mr. Higley.
Okay. And do you work?
Yes,
Are you currently off work?
currently yes. Right now, yes.
And are you a recovering alcoholic?
Yes.
And how long have you been in recovery?
I've been sober for 956 days.
And have you seen the parties with their daughter Oakley?
Yes.
And tell me about your relationship with Mr. Higley. Did you know him before you were in recovery?
Yes, I did.
And what was your relationship like before you were in recovery?
We hung out, not too much really, mostly for football games, because I work 7 days a week.
Okay. Did you ever go over to his house and for any parties?
For a few, yes.
And can you give me a time frame?
What do you mean by like that?
Like what years were you going over to have to parties at his house?
Oh God, like the last probably about 5 years, just on and off for like Michigan games.
And so you would watch the game at the house?
Yes.
And was there drinking involved?
There were some, yes.
And was there a time, so were some of these parties before Oakley was born?
That I do not recall because I don't remember. I remember Oakley being there when I was there. So
Okay. So they were all the ones that you can recall are after she was born.
Right.
And was Ms. Borden present as well?
a few times, yes.
And would the parties drink at these parties?
Yes. I never really saw Heather drink that much or Dale drink that much either. So it's like, I wasn't there I was only there at a few.
And did Ms. Borden ever make Jello shots or fancy mixed drinks?
At least one time, yes, but most of the other times I don't recall.
Did you ever see either of them so intoxicated that they would be unsafe to take care of Oakley?
Yes, I would object on the grounds of being a compound question and leading.
I can rephrase.
Okay, please do.
At these games, did you ever see Mr. Higley intoxicated?
No,
Did you ever see Ms. Borden intoxicated?
no,
Did you ever see Mr. Higley in a state that you felt he could not take care of Oakley?
no,
Did you ever see Ms. Borden in a state that you thought that she could not take care of Oakley?
no.
And since you have been in recovery, has there been any change in Mr. Higley's drinking habits when he's with you?
I notice he doesn't drink that. What's the word I want to say? He doesn't. Because if I say it the one way, it's going to sound bad, but he doesn't really drink that much around me. And I think it's because he knows I don't like drinking anymore.
Okay. And are you around him very often when he does not have Oakley?
Lately, no, because I'm always well, before my surgery, I was working all the time, so just a few times.
Just a few times that Oakley was not around?
Right.
And did you notice any difference in his drinking when Oakley was not around versus when she is around?
It seems like he's, I'm not saying I'm rubbing off on him, but it's like, it doesn't seem like he's drinking as much.
In general?
Generally, yes.
And what have you observed about Mr. Higley's relationship with his daughter?
All I know is that he loves his daughter and he plays with her a lot.
Have you ever seen him have to correct her if she was, doing something she shouldn't have been doing?
I'm going to say no.
Have you ever seen him have to redirect her?
No.
And have you ever seen Ms. Borden around Oakley?
Yes.
And what kind of relationship does she have with Oakley?
She loves her daughter too.
Have you ever seen the parties disagree about anything regarding Oakley?
That I recall, no.
And have you ever seen them raise their voices at each other in Oakley's presence?
No.
Do you have any concerns whatsoever about either of the parents' ability to take care of Oakley?
No. Both of them are great people.
I have no further questions, and thank you so much for coming back.
Mr. Zoglio, any cross-examination?
Thank you, Your Honor. So, good morning, Mr. Martinez. My understanding is your testimony is that, you've had limited time around Mr. Higbee and Miss Borden?
Yes.
All right. Can you try to put that in perspective for me? When you say limited time, like, and you were asked questions about before your recovery, 1 day a week, 1 day a month. Can you give me some perspective on that?
I was around probably about 3 times a month, 3 to 4 times a month.
And were these just day visits?
Days or nights, whenever the games were.
Okay, so you mainly came around for U of M games?
Yes.
Okay. So prior to your recovery, you and Dale would drink before these U of M games. Is that correct?
Yes and no. It's like, I mean, I didn't really drink that much in the first place, but it's like, I know I had a problem, so I had to correct myself.
Okay. And, but Dale would drink. When you say yes or no, does that mean Dale was drinking and you weren't?
They want to drink all the time.
You said you're 956 days sober, so you're recovering alcoholic, correct?
Yes.
Did you go through AA and currently active in your recovery?
Yes, I went through sobriety court and all that stuff.
All right. So isn't it true that you've asked Dale to attend AA with you or attend AA on his own?
I've asked him, yes.
Okay. And why did you ask him to attend AA with you, or asked him to attend AA? Was it because of you were concerned about his drinking?
Yes and no. I mean, it's like he didn't drink that much, but I thought, I didn't think I drank that much either. And it's when you get into the program, you can find out for yourself if you're an alcoholic or not.
Okay. And you seem pretty genuine. I'm trying to ask this in a way, but were you concerned about his drinking and driving? Is that why you encouraged him to do AA?
No, it's like I've watched myself, and it's like I know I've never seen him drink and drive. It's like I know he drank, but I've come to the point where it's like I'm I don't want to be like a father figure, but it's like just watching over my friends drinking too much. If they do.
Okay. And that's why you encouraged him to go to AA.
Yes.
Did he take your advice? Did he go to AA?
I've never seen him at a meeting. I don't know if he's gone.
Did you have discussions with him while he was in the hospital after his motorcycle accident about this?
On and off, yes. I didn't like the press issue.
Okay. When you say on and off, that means more than once.
I was there a couple of times at the hospital. It's like we talked a little bit about it.
Were you, and did you do that because you were concerned that alcohol might have been related to the motorcycle accident?
Yes, a little.
All right. But you said you had limited time around the parties, so you're concerned, you voiced your concerns. Did he indicate to you that he was gonna go to AA?
I think he was gonna try to. I'm not sure.
Did he acknowledge to you that he had a problem?
He's never acknowledged that. I don't think he has one. I mean, it's not my choice to say if he's an alcoholic or not. He has to decide for himself.
Sir, I'm not asking you that. I'm just asking you if he acknowledged his problem with alcohol to you. Did he acknowledge that to you?
Not really, no.
All right. Did you ever go with him to the Grand River Brewery?
Yes.
All right. Did you ever participate in the Monday Night Mug Club?
Yes.
All right. And was that before or after your recovery?
Before and after, because I still have a mug there. I just don't drink out of it.
You just drink like soda or something.
I have it's lemonade and pomegranate is what I usually go there. It's like when I set
Okay.
my mug there, everybody knows what I drink. So
Sure. Gotcha. Did Dale drink beer out of the mug?
occasionally, some of the times he wouldn't. Because when I was Kellogg's was on strike, I was actually working with him a lot.
Okay. When who was on strike?
I was on strike at Kellogg's. We were on strike for about a few months, about a couple of years ago.
So you were working with who?
Mr. Higley.
Okay, so you were working for his tree service?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I assume that that's somehow related to the Monday Night Mug Club, because that's what I was asking you about. Did you go there after working to the
No.
Monday?
No.
Okay. Did you ever go to any other bars with Dale?
I would have to say no. It was mostly Grand River.
Okay. And this was after his accident, you went to a bar with him, the Monday Club?
It was a little bit, well, it was quite a bit of time after he was out of the hospital. I know that.
Okay. But again, you testified that he was drinking beer after the accident at this Monday nightclub.
Mug Club. Not a lot, no. I mean, it's like when he first came back, he wasn't.
Okay. But then he did.
Yeah, but not a lot. I mean, he would like have probably a mug.
Okay. All right, I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Ms. McNiff, any redirect?
A couple. Can you describe what the Monday night mug club deal at Grand River Brewery is?
On Monday for the Mug Club, it's like you get half off your dinner and stuff like that when you buy a mug and mug of beer, but it can be a mug of anything.
So lemonade pomegranate counts.
Yeah.
So when you've been at the Monday night mug club, what kinds of people do you see there?
There's all kinds of different people. You got young people and older people, so it's
Do you see any kids, any families with kids?
yes.
What kind of atmosphere is it? Is it a bar atmosphere or a restaurant atmosphere?
It's more like a restaurant.
Have you encouraged friends other than Mr. Higley to go to AA?
Yes.
Any idea how many of your friends you've encouraged to go?
I've encouraged about just under a dozen, probably about 10 to 12, and I've gotten like a couple to go.
Are you happier being sober?
Yes, definitely.
Is that something that you want for your friends?
I'd like to, but it's their choice. I mean, that's the whole AA thing. It's your choice, not, you can't force it onto anybody.
At this point in time, do you have any concerns about Mr. Higley's health in regards to his drinking?
No, not really.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Zaglio?
Just a few follow-up related to the redirect, Your Honor. The Mug Club, can you get a mug if you're under 18?
No.
Okay. And you said you've encouraged your friends, just under a dozen to attend AA. Was that your testimony?
Yes.
All right. But that's not all your friends, is it?
No.
Just the friends that you were concerned about and their problems with alcohol. That's why you referred them. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
All right. No further questions.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Martinez, thank you for your testimony. You're excused and you have a good day, sir.
Thank you. You too.
Ms. McNiff, next witness.
Your Honor, my next witness is going to be my client, and I'm happy to start with them. But I don't think I'll finish with them in half an hour.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah, I see it's 11:35. Why don't we break? When we break at this point for lunch, I've got some other matters I have to take care of. So why don't we'll be back at 1:30 p.m. then.
Okay.